The first match of the day, it's going to be on the mobile platform, and it's going to be Frank against Sakti.
My name is Philip Frank, and I am from Indonesia, and I qualified from West Asia for Inter Milan Club Final. I am expecting to become the champion of Inter Milan and can qualify to the World Finals in Tokyo. I have been there last year to watch the World Finals, and I hope this year I can go compete in the World Finals in Japan. For me, playing football is like the same like playing football, because we have to think about our tactics and how to score goals and how to defend. So it's like very fun for me. I'm very proud to be Indonesian, because if I qualified, there is 3 Indonesian players who will play in the Japan. And I think we have a very big opportunity to become the world champion in console, also in mobile. Please support me, all Indonesian eFootball community, also my eSport team, Onyx Esport. Please support me, and I hope I can bring the trophy back to Indonesia.
Hello, my name is Sakti Aulia Sulistyo. I'm from Indonesia and I represent West Asia to play in the Internazionale Milano in Milano. This is my last chance to come to Japan for the eFootball World Championship in 2025, so I will do as best as I can, as best as I know. I'm going to the finals, of course. Everyone wants to be the champion, but only one person can be the champion, so I hope it will be me, hopefully. I'm looking to travel to Tokyo again, because in 2023 I went there but I lost. This time I want to be the world champion. I play football since I was a kid, so I feel very excited because the game is very realistic, and the gameplay, the statistic, and the animation, of course. I can describe that my game is just long ball counter, because I try to play defense first, because if you concede first goal, it will be a trouble in the future. So I try to defense first and take the counter attack. Terima kasih untuk teman-teman yang sudah mendukung saya sampai saat ini, teman-teman yang latihan, yang mensupport saya bisa berangkat sampai ke Inter Milan, untuk keluarga dan teman-teman semuanya. Minta doanya semoga saya bisa juara di Inter Milan.
Tunnel they emerge. Frank and Sakti, countrymen turned rivals on our stage here. The 2 Indonesians will battle for the pride of the Garuda nation. Alex, you know both of these way better than I, so I think it's only fair that you introduce them. Let's talk about Frank first. I know the name, I've seen the skills. What does this man bring that others perhaps don't at this level?
Yeah, definitely Frank. One of those names that we said before, sounding really strongly recently. It's kind of funny game in terms of they haven't faced each other, but just remember Sakti comes from console, now into mobile from last year, and it will be an interesting match. At the end of the day, the most difficult is to get into a competition, to have a solid first game. We saw many legends players having a hard time always in the first match, so securing the victory now will be a great input into the competition. Coming back to Frank, is a player who loves to dominate the control of the match. He feels comfortable having the possession, turning around, waiting some mistake, waiting some player running out of position, forcing that. Now with the Inter Milano, with Simone Inzaghi, the out wide play style is the main one, so most of the player I expect to see them using it. So that will mean that your gameplay, your build-up play has to be really widely, you will use it. Maybe we'll have some 5 center back formation with fullbacks approaching with some winger to make some superiority with the opponent defenders. So it will be maybe a really slow pace of the game mostly, but more tactically, and maybe mistakes will be, as always, a great point to take a look with. And overall, a lot to say about Frank, as well to Sakti, as we say before, Harry. he have experience at the World Finals. Probably, most likely, he's looking for another opportunity. He came in the very last moment here to make it possible. It seems to be tough for him, but at the end of the day, this player has nothing to lose and a lot to win. It's a really open competition for everyone here at Mobile, so let's wish the best for them and may the best win.
Just a moment of pause and reflection, time for a prayer for Sakti, who, as you said, comes from console. It's not often we see players transition between platforms. He is someone, though, that knows the game and has been competing for so long that he does know the game inside and out, and that sometimes can transition across to mobile.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the gameplay is pretty similar tactically in how to dominate the tactics. So if you come from console, you basically know all the tools, all the resources that you can use it on mobile. But at the end of the day, you need to get used to the phone, and then you play with the fingers. You need to be really fast. Somehow, physically is slightly different. I was a player also from console moving to mobile. I think I can be really good, but you need that extra, that extra that the players coming from the very beginning on mobile has. So it will be pretty interesting, if Sakti can take some great points against Frank. It will be really impressive. But at the end of the day, everything seems to be really close in terms of score. Recently, scoring 2 goals looks like to be enough to take 3 points. So we'll see passion, nerves. We see Onyx Frank here sweating a little bit with his hands, maybe nerves, maybe.
Something I love. I love to see.
I love to see that. Yeah, me too. Look, exactly the same with his routines. No,
it's great to see. Psychologically, it gets you ready for the match. Perhaps warming his hands up there as well.
Yeah,
I do wonder how much your choice of towel perhaps makes the difference, because you have to think about a controller on console. Perhaps sweat doesn't change it that much. There's a bit more tactile grip. Whereas with the mobile screens, a lot of times they're glass, tempered
it's a problem,
glass. It can be very slippery, and one missed input at this level could be fatal.
No, definitely. So it's pretty interesting. There is many different routines or techniques to control your focus. Because in this moment you have to wait until the referee launch the game. You start to think about everything. You start to visualize what to do in the kickoff, what to do in case you miss or you concede a goal. So sometimes hearing the caster, seeing the lights, seeing the cameraman, you lose the focus into the important thing, which is the game, your phone in this case. So there is a lot of stuff to improve. So most of the players need to realize that it's not just to play, just to come fresh, having a good night, eating enough not to feel that heavy in your stomach. Then you can have some activation exercises to get activate your body, your brain, to have those reflexes at 100%, Harry. And many things that we can discuss for an hour. So yeah, finally we got the tactics on 5 center back for both, which is pretty interesting. The differently that Sakti start with Barella and Zalanoglu at the back, and only one defensive midfielder for Onyx Frank, Barella, and that positioning on the forwards, Lautaro Martinez, Marcus Thuram, the main forwards, are really good. But let's see, out wide versus out wide, who will be able to use the fullbacks? That's the key. The fullbacks joining the attack. Here we go, Harry. It's time.
Well, we'll look out for it, Alex. Those fullbacks could be the difference between two compatriots here, the two Indonesians, to open and raise the curtain on our FC Inter club event final. Some last checks from the side of Frank. Thank you as well to our adrenaline referee on the stage, Sergio, making sure everything is ready to go. And now we are ready. The club event finals kicks off. It is Frank versus Sakti in our group stages. Match number 1. It will be Frank in the home strip attacking this right-hand goal early on. And it's a first strike! And it is the first goal! Oh, what a goal it is! Shaking the defender off nicely. And we said he was one of the favourites. Was at the World Finals last year watching. That would have hurt. He's combating now for his chance to return there. And Philip Frank into the lead.
Lovely pass from Marcos Turan, and one of the most dangerous parts in immobile is just the edge of the area. Piotr Zielinski with that double tap, that finishing, putting the lead from Frank, which is starting in a solid way, and let's see if he can go for the second one.
Yeah, just 5 minutes into our club finals. And it is Frank who introduces himself, the 22-year-old. Surprisingly, this is actually his first club finals appearance. Can you believe that?
That says a lot of how difficult it is to reach this stage. No, at the end, you have to be the best on your region, especially Southeast Asia is plenty of superstars in eFootball Mobile.
Now a chance for Sakti after conceding early on to maybe venture forward, but Frank wins possession back in his favour, and it's just so patient.
Looking
and
for
there's
Lautaro.
the kind of return favour. Here is the goal scorer Zelensky. The ball is bouncing everywhere inside the box. Luckily for Sakti, it's up the pitch now.
He's having a hard time, Sakti, to clear those chances. The pressure is still really strong from Frank. That he's looking forward to get that potentially a second goal. Look at the control there. We turn around waiting for the perfect moment to go through. Now,
nice
Saranoglu.
Good job by the Turk, Çalhanoğlu, and now fed through to Martinez.
Counter,
he can be very deadly in front of goal.
It's nice.
Can he find it? It's Çalhanoğlu! Saved.
Pretty interesting. Now that could be mostly the rhythm of the game. Frank controlling the possession, and then Sakti approaching those mistakes, the pressure, those counter to make suffer his countrymate Frank.
Well, as time goes on in the season, we've seen set pieces be very, very beneficial for some. We'll see if Sakti has practiced his, and well, curse of the commentator there, I think, Alex, that one is all the way out.
Yeah, I mean, it's really impressive, no? That's such a long throw with Hakan Çalhanoğlu, which is, we all know how good he is with free kicks and the corner kicks. It's pretty impressive, no? Since the last update, Harry, how important the positioning of Dimiev, a defensive midfielder, took part in a different role, because the last addition in the last update, it means like the passing, it takes more importance. It's dependent the stats of low pass and long pass. So now,
nice dummy.
That was nice. So what I was saying is like having a good passing player on Dimiev is really, really important. That's why they are using Hakan Çalhanoğlu and a special card with Dimiev position and Anchorman and his playstyle.
Well, conceding to him at one end, Sakti has now positioned the goal scorer for Frank in an advantageous position. Chance here to recycle the attack as well.
No control at all. It's now Frank having a hard time to defend. Now the chance is Sakti!
It is game on here as Martinez tucks it home nicely. And the man known for his console play has scored and equalised against one of the best mobile players.
Yeah, we saw 1-2 times in a row Frank rushing the clear, not in the best way. That's giving many chances to Sakti to get that superiority. And then also the matchup wasn't that perfect from Frank. Well approached by Sakti, get on track, 1-1. And it's time, a lot of time to go already in this first match of the day.
2 goals in the first half between these two.
He's missing a lot of matchup. And that could be the second! And what a shock it is for Frank. What a way to turn over the table. Sakti with a wonderful through pass. And it seems to be Frank missing a lot of matchups there, not catching that ball, and Lautaro once again putting the second for Sakti.
Just won that physical duel at the back, didn't he? And as soon as he did, you just knew. You knew Martinez would stick this one in the back of the net. Great finish, and it's the 1-2 punch from 1-0 down to 2-1 up now.
He definitely approached perfectly the momentum on his favor. And it's now the John Frank will have to, do something. Maybe switch information, maybe not. Yes, some pause, some tactical pause just to realize what next, to visualize how to perform the kickoff. it's always smart, no, to those pauses, because sometimes we keep going without thinking that much, but especially in this moment after concede 2 goals, it's perfect. So here we'll see. Kick off for Frank.
10 minutes until half-time as well. So it might yet be more goals to come in this first half. Frank on the offensive, attacking this right-hand goal. It's the goal scorer at the other end that tries that strike. Gratefully into the hands of Sommer. And Sakti was very, very realistic, wasn't he? Saying, this is my last chance for the World Finals of 2025. And he seems to be relishing his opportunities. It's a 3-on-3 at the back here. Here's turnaround, goal, straight at Sommer.
He didn't choose the right place to finish with Marcus Thuram. The farthest post seems to be the right option, but he decided the nearest one. Great save by Sommer. It's now Philippe Frank completely surviving to the intense attack by Sakti. We're still having one more before we know the added on minutes by the referee. Harry could be the third one for Sakti, maybe playing on short, but maybe just to confuse his opponent, not playing short. Is Nicolo Varela trying to turn. Is Lautaro Martinez in a defensive action, blocking that run. 30 minutes added on.
It's Çalhanoğlu again to play it short.
Oh,
there
he
is not
finally
much
made
time,
it.
but Barrea has actually won and scored. Sakti has scored again.
Wonderful execution on how to perform a corner kick. Right in the kick, he lived behind his man. He was Lautaro Martinez getting into the box. Wonderful cross. And who is Marcus Thuram to pull the third one into the box. 3-1. What a way to react from the early lead by Philippe Frank. Big shock in this first half of the game one here at the Inter Milan finals.
I don't think anyone saw this one coming. Least of all, Philippe Frank. It has been a nightmare start to the Inter Club event finals, and he's given the ball away again at the end of the first half. It is Sakti 3, Frank 1. Despite scoring first, it's the young Indonesian that will trail going into the second half.
That's the most change from Frank. One of the problems of playing with 5 center backs is like when you're losing, you cannot have that power, no, to turn up the tables. And in this case, needs to do something else. Maybe with this position, he will try to get more consistent possession that we haven't seen so far since the beginning of the match. Sakti somehow has disabled that control that Philippe Frank always put it on. We check it out, defensive on both fullbacks, and now will be a different story, but pretty interesting. And let's see if that formation, that 4-3-1-2, could be that extra that Philippe Frank needs to overcome someone as Sakti that doesn't speak so loud, but at the end of the day, great recovery, great reaction. Now have everything on his hands, Harry, to took the first 3 points of the competition.
It seemed a stroke of genius what he was saying just before the match. We heard it in the video. I try to play defense first. I want to play long ball counter. And after conceding first, you think, oh, maybe he will have to be invited out of his shell a little bit. But no, he's stuck to the game plan. And he is 3-1 up entering this second half, which is now underway. Philippe Frank trails 3-1 here in the Inter home strip, that famous black and blue.
And clear minds, and as we see down the screen, is Sakti playing on blue line, playing one line defensive just to try to be more conservative, concede less, but somehow you give a lot of space to your opponent to control the match. We'll see.
Of course, if it's your first time watching eFootball, we play on console and mobile. That's yet another pocket picked by Sakti, and it's a lovely touch. Oh, and it's wide on his hat-trick. Martinez could not capitalise.
It's clearly the feeling when someone has not the control, when someone that has not a good feeling with the gameplay. We saw Onik Frank defending with the second man rather than switch cursor and defensively one-on-one. Those feelings, Harry says pretty clearly that he's not having a good time now into the stage. We'll see, 30 minutes remaining. Same score is Sakti beating his countrymate the first game here, and seeing how difficult are the group stage, we always say 3 points is massive, no, for your chances to go to the final.
Frank trying to take as much time on the ball as he can, finds Thuram. Here's Lautaro.
No, he needs something else.
Just ran into traffic there.
He needs to accumulate more players to gain that superiority. No, just to remember that those two defensive midfielders for Sakti, it makes no chances to Frank to play comfortably in that zone, and it's been the key so far.
It has indeed, and the man...
Defense, Harry, always defend is the most important thing
The
at
man
this level.
from console will know that better than most, I think, Alex. Sakti has put on a great performance, and if he can survive this final 20 minutes in the game, he will come away with a great 3 points against one of the toughest players in this group.
Nice pressure now from Frank. But he's not comfortable with those passing. Now Thuram could have a great spot. Barella inside the box.
Barella!
Oof. That was close.
15 minutes left. The best chance of the game so far, aside from the goal he scored for Frank.
And the time's running so fast, no substitution. And that's it. That's the game in mobile. Now the mistake from Frank. Look at the counter. Nicolo Barella, Harry. That could be the end of the match. Marcos Thuram to the post.
Could have been the dagger. Still alive here, actually, for Sakti. It's Bastoni that steps up. But look, we're in the final 10 minutes now. And he's given the ball away again. Wrestles it back onto his side. Need to start to see those chances come for Frank if he wants anything from this game. You can just see how exhausted his players are.
Full blue Sakti now.
There's been no pauses because the ball stayed in play the entire time. No time.
No, it's the perfect scenario for Sakti. Sakti is handling so well the score, and most likely, if nothing happened now, he will secure the 3 points.
No minutes added on, and there it is. Sakti opens his account with a 3-1 victory and 3 points over his countrymate Philipp Frank to start off the FC Inter Club Event Finals. Alex, 7 shots on mobile.
It's a lot,
That's very impressive.
Nah, definitely. He completely deserved the 3 first point for Sakti. Sakti, who came not that sharp at the beginning of the match against his countrymate Philipp Frank. That really wasn't enough for Frank. But from that moment, he completely lost the sense of the build-up play. Outstanding job by Sakti. Completely dominant performance. That could be even more goals in his favor. And at the end of the day, really, really, really important 3 points for the start of the competition like that.
Well, if you saw the opening 5 minutes and went to go put the kettle on maybe for a hot drink, you might be surprised to come back and see the score as it is and the final result, because Frank, after 5 minutes, opened the scoring. But there were chances at both ends. Sakti never gave up and was knocking on the door. And then this one, followed by a quick fire second, really just sent a shockwave through the studio, and certainly it was a setback that Frank just could not recover from. There was the first, and pure disappointment for Frank. And then 5 minutes later in the game, it's the same man who scores once more. From misery to jubilation, Sakti has done incredibly well in that first half alone. Had another chance, if memory serves as well, towards the end of the first half. This was one straight into the hands of Jan Sommer for Philipp Frank. And it was an action-packed first half. We had corners. And it did make me laugh that he decided to go for more of a short corner after we saw that really dismal one from Çalhanoğlu to begin the first half. But this one was straight out of the training ground, the third of 3. Tucked home for Sakti, and all he had to do was game manage that second half and frustrate Frank. And the longer the game went on, the more comfortable Sakti looked. And if anything, that one by Lautaro could have been a hat-trick But that is how the game finished. There was this chance 15 minutes from time that if maybe Frank scores, we would have seen a chance at a comeback, but it was not to be. It is Sakti coming home with 3 valuable points in the group stages, Semra. Wow, what a performance.
What a performance indeed. I mean, he certainly showed some strength and resilience there, having fallen behind just 5 minutes into the game itself. I mean, absolute turnaround, just brilliant from him. I believe he's actually with Alex now, so we can go ahead and get some insight into his mental fortitude and how he was able to actually turn the tide in his favour to take those 3 points of the day.
Thank you, Semra Harry. Let's hear how it sounds to get 3 points here at the Inter Milan Club Event Finals. Sakti, what a way to start the competition. Dominant victory. How do you feel?
Alhamdulillah, first of all, thanks to God, finally I can come here to Milano, Italy. And first game is very essential for everything. And I hope that the second game and third game I can do as best as I can.
I was really impressive with your tactic. I think the position of your midfielders completely block the attacks of Philipp Frank. It is something that you have prepared before, or do you analyze that much your opponent, or you don't mainly?
Because my friend Philipp Frank is same from Indonesia, so I know a little bit about him, and then I just play conservative because I already got the advantages, so just do it, just defense and play concentrate and just focus.
Now definitely you did pretty well. Good start. It's not enough, but we invite you everyone to follow the competition. We got 2 strong Garuda, and especially Sakti is in a really good position in the upcoming games to reach the goal, be in the final, and why not win the competition today?
Yeah, we hope so, hopefully.